Hey guys, it's Monk52 here, of course, and today we are featuring a game we actually had on Hive stream. This is my perspective, and we're playing Mr. Hive and Mr. Blaymiester. Go check them out. Mr. Blaymiester is on YouTube as well, but mostly he's on Twitch. He does some highlights on YouTube. Mr. Hivehound, of course, is on the YouTubes. We do these Davey Doing podcast stuff, malarkeys with him, and today we're kind of showing off when to kite and how to properly kite in the aspect of actually winning a game, because the Mogami is it's a kiting machine. It's what it's for. It's built to kite. You can shoot over islands with it and you'll get good results there, and it can do that 100%, but its main strength lies in kiting. It's got rear facing torpedoes, as you all know, and that it really is what sells the boat as a successful kiting machine. It can torpedo the targets you're kiting away from. It can do some really good alpha strike. That has a relatively long reload, but it doesn't really matter. You've got a lot of guns. They're all 203s. Pretty decent fire chance, even if you're not using AL Latigo. They're a really good commander for her. And yeah, it's really spicy. So where do you want to kite in these boats? Well, you don't want to kite to the back of the map unless you're bringing a lot of enemy ships with you. So kiting here is perfect because I can go here. I can get myself to this island. And if need be, if it gets too tough for me, I can get behind that rock, and I can always just not shoot and straight up disengage here. Now this is okay. I'm heavily angled against the Warspite and I'm pretty far away. Yeah, so there's that. And plus I don't think the Warspite's actually focused on us, which is good. Philandry is, again, you got to remember the shells that you're potentially getting shot at from. Philandry is French, fast shells, magic shells. I'm just going to say magic because it pretty much is. You gotta be careful about that. It's definitely a risky boat. Warspite, again, a tier 7 game at Warspite, not very good. Guys, don't fail this mission, especially in battleships. It's much more devastating in battleships than it is, say, destroyers. It's probably the easiest thing to fail the mission in and get away with it, but I don't recommend it, seriously. Yeah, so we'll fire here, we'll fire the Warspite. Atlanta's over there, he's quite far away, and Atlantas are usually quite squirrely, but we have Atlanta there potentially causing some problems for our Z23. Warspite's just damage controlled, so we definitely want to get an extra fire here before we disengage the Warspite. And Atlanta does go dark as well, so that does help our decision making there. Let's get another fire in Warspite and then start to pursue the Atlanta for our division mate in the Z23. So yeah, definitely get that done here. We got at least one permafire burning, I believe. Yes, we do. Okay. We got some torpedoes potential for the Warspite, so we'll send them there. Right now he's the biggest problem because he's the most aggressive, and when you're aggressive you are going to get focused. That's how it goes, but it doesn't mean that you're not contributing. Right now the Warspite is the most dangerous ship here, and yes, there's a Philandry there, but Warspite's just simply more dangerous because it's closer. It's causing more of a problem. So yeah, Warspite does that. He does take an absolute walloping from potentially one of the torpedoes. I'm not even sure. I didn't actually see that, but whatever. It looks like he's going to go down. My torpedoes weren't necessary. Yeah, the Blay actually torps the guy with his the German torps that have a very quick reload, I might add. Flandry's over there. Peter Baratheon, as I like to call him, he seems to be pursuing. Doesn't have a radar. We all know Peter Baratheon's more of a cruiser killer than actually a DD killer. Pretty bad sonar, decent torps, but pretty really spicy AP. And we are giving him flat broadside, but we are well aware of his guns, and that's really what's important. If you're looking at the guy's guns, you can see where he's aiming. By the time it takes him to turn, I've already got this AP salvo off, and that should straight up just kill him, honestly, because it's a broadside Russian cruiser. He should die, but he does get quite lucky with 3 shatters and 4 overpens and 2 bounces, so maybe the second shot will do it. We'll have to see. Kutuzov is a bit of a problem there, and that's a little bit of a bad decision play by me. Again, this Peter Baratheon doesn't die. Maybe the third stab will do it, doesn't matter. Okay, friendly Colorado gets it. Philandry is a big concern, and this is major misplay by me, I think. I could easily get myself ripped a new one by that Philandry, but hey, we got away with it. Kutuzov is firing HE, he's causing us some bother, but he's not actually going to immediately kill us right now. Looks like he doesn't have EOP, he's just got a simple 152 with a fire chance. We're going to burn damage control in a single fire. And in a straight HE trade, we should have almost the upper hand because we just hit so much harder than he does. He does have a better fire rate again, but I still think that's we'd probably win that trade just with the health advantage that we have. But with this Philandry being so close, we just simply can't risk it. We got to be very careful and make sure this Philandry gets dealt with. If Blay can't deal with him with his torpedoes, I can send them my way as well. The Mogami has a lot of torpedoes. You need to respect that. If you're in the torpedo firing angles of the Mogami, you need to be very careful. And yeah, surprise, Atlanta does actually become somewhat aggressive towards a big heavy cruiser Mogami, which is a major misplay in my opinion, and he should just be deaded from that, because that's 203, it's Japanese 203, and we get incredibly lucky with 8 overpins. It looks like, I think my division mate told me the Flandre is not pushing, so I fired my widespread at the Atlanta in the hope to actually kill him, or maybe at least make him think twice. But we usually get so lucky with these overpins. 6 overpins. We have no choice but to get ourselves a little bit into the map border here, because if we start pushing, turning the other way, it's unfortunate. I really don't like going the map border. I think it's kind of scummy, honestly, and I do regret this, but hey, I don't have a choice in this situation. I'm being pulled to the edge of the map here. Flandre looks like he's pushing, so we send our torps that way. He's not actually interested in us, which is really weird. I thought I'd be dead here, honestly, and I should have been, but hey, there's enough torpedoes coming into Flandre's way that I don't think he's going to last much longer. It probably has 2 or 3 shots left at him, potentially. Looks like he's doing some problems here. Ooh, okay, that looks like 1 torp's going to hit him. We have the AP loaded, but we need to switch HE. We land 1 torp, but it's not enough to kill him, so we need 1 more reload. Kutuzov is on death's bed, but so are we potentially if this Flandre decides to shoot us. He doesn't actually shoot us, which is really lucky. We get really lucky there. We finish off the Flandre, that's great, but we get very unlucky with this Atlanta. Not only can we not do anything over AP, let's see if we can do something over HE maybe. He's turning, he's duking a little bit, and Atlanta does add up. It is pretty devastating, especially if EOP, if you have it. We do get a fire, we do get 3 pens. We're just going to keep on HE because our AP has been so ineffective against this Atlanta. This is normally the case for battleships, but not with 203s, especially Japanese 203s. Don't exactly have the best penetration in the world, so I really think that the chance of the overpen should be a bit lower. But again, overpen is based off gun caliber, not necessarily penetration, so yeah, we'll have to see. Anyway, so, it's based off gun caliber and shell fuse timer, but there's a long story for that. Try AP one more time on the Atlanta. He's on death's bed. Honestly, HE would do the trick, but we do actually get a Citadel there, which is finally 1 Citadel on the broadside Atlanta. He does finally go down, but we did lose about half our health in that engagement. Where honestly, I don't think we should have lost any, bar the Flandre. You know, we were quite lucky with the Flandre, but if we dealt with Atlanta earlier on, we would have had plenty more time to deal with Flandre. Potentially could have killed him quicker. But then again, it's just, it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda situation. RNG is always, sometimes it's on your side, sometimes it's not, and you gotta accept that sometimes, So, yeah, we do get our way some map border, which is always nice. As I said before, I just don't like it because it kind of throws off auto aim, and it's just a little bit annoying. I just don't like people using the map border there, but we kind of were forced to do that, unless we don't want to touch the noses with the Flandre, Pretty much not advisable in a Mogami. So yeah, now, we've not really moved too much from this location. We've kind of kited upwards, and we're not really kited, we just kind of made sure that we had cover, and now we're just going to pursue ourselves and make sure we have a solid crossfire with the team up the north. You might ask, what team up the north? Hive is still up north, so if we build ourselves up there, we can get a development crossfire. And yes, I understand there's mostly just 3 battleships and 1 destroyer left, but crossfires work for any type of ship. You can have a battleship and a destroyer creating a crossfire themselves. You could have 2 destroyers creating a crossfire. You could have 2 cruisers, because you can cross torp. You can, even with cruisers, if you're firing 2 different sides of the map, then the battleship can't kill you both. He has to kill one, then turn his guns. He has to choose one, and the other one's going to get off scot-free. So crossfires are a thing no matter what ship you are in. We just saw that our Warspite, their Warspite dev struck one of our final cruisers, I believe, the Goretzia. Yeah, I think it was. So all we have holding up the other side of the map, the left side flank here, is just a single battleship. Obviously, the Massachusetts, and he's just gone down as well. So this is getting a pretty dangerous looking game here. 687 points on their team, 237 for ours. We're definitely quite down in points. We're down on caps. I mean, we're trying to equalize it here with contesting the B cap and capturing it. But Hive is in a Baltimore, and that is a Vladivostok, I believe a Colorado and a Brandenburg. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, all pretty nasty stuff for the Baltimore. Yeah, Colorado, Vladivostok, and I think in Brandenburg. But Brandenburg is the least dangerous there. But then again, the secondaries are pretty darn terrifying. But yeah, the 16-inch gun is just basically says "screw you, Baltimore armor," and then "screw you, Baltimore." That's that one, and basically says the same to Mogami as well. We're spotted by the one and only destroyer, very likely. Obviously, Mogami is quite a stealthy wee boat. Well, not wee boat, it's quite a stealthy boat, just in general. And we do need to start kiting away here because we can't get broadside to the Vladivostok. Now, typically, Vladivostok wouldn't have this range, but that is running an optimized build, at least in my opinion. If you're running a Liv Galar build on Vladivostok, then you might have the range, so I have to just take that into account. Looks like he doesn't have the range, it's just the DD for... Oh, he does actually have the range, he's fired some shots there. We slowed down, we've duked it successfully. Using your speed and as well as your rudder is really what's going to help you dodge shells here, especially if you built into the agility a little bit. Honestly, I don't recommend going full agility. I feel like you lose more than you gain, but that's just me. Kagero does show himself a little bit. We do fire and we just lash him a little bit, which is unfortunate. But it looks like our torpedo is actually really good on the Kagero. It's always good to fire your torpedo as much as you can with Mogami. You never know what you might hit. They're pretty good zoning torps. You do get a really spicy salvo. 6 pens of HE. He must have been saturation there. The torpedo hits him and that's a devastating strike. These torpedoes that are kind of meant to zone out the Vladivostok actually hit the destroyer and death strike him. Always beautiful. That means we can focus our efforts on the Brandenburg and we can kite away from the Vladivostok because he's the more dangerous one. With Brandenburg we can actually angle against him, so that's there. Vladivostok has made himself behind the island, or he's put himself behind the island, so he's not actually a big concern. He can't actually shoot us, so there we go. We do have to concern ourselves with the enemy Colorado, who's still present threat. There we go, 16.7. He definitely has the range to shoot us. Colorado should have about 17 kilometer plus, maybe at most 17, 18 kilometer range. So yeah, he does have just the range to get us. Maybe you might not always have that range, so we do be aware of that. Again, you could be using Bismarck as inspiration. The Megatron commander, and you get more battleship range, but then again, it's just unlikely, but you still got to account for it. You can always account for the worst situation. That's what you do, and you prepare for the worst. That way you're not disappointed or surprised. Well, you're not surprised when something like that happens. We do set a fire in Colorado. We really need to get a kill here. We've got 700 points. The timer is important, yes, but you got to remember the point tick can actually outdo the timer, and we need kills now. Brandenburg does go dark, which is really bad here because we really need to kill Brandenburg. But burning this Colorado is probably necessary as well. I pick up the high caliber there. I think Hive also had it recently, I'm not sure. Brandenburg does pop up, and it looks like they're all low. I think both the Colorado and the Brandenburg are low, but they're not, easy kills right now. They still need a lot of work for the HE. Colorado does go down to our Colorado, which is absolutely great. Probably just overmatched them through the bow. I can't actually see. Probably maybe a little bit of an angle there, but Brandenburg is next on the chopping board. We really need to get these ships killed, otherwise we can't win this. There's only like 3 minutes left. Hi-Fi picks up the high cal. He does go down to the Vladivostok though. The overmatch is probably too much there. And yeah, we got to work on this Brandenburg as much as we can. We want to work on Vladivostok, but we need kills right now. We need to kill. We've only got, 4 minutes left? Yeah, 4 minutes left. They've still got about 200 point lead. We really need to take this man out because he's got a good chance of killing our Colorado if we let him live longer. So every second counts, honestly. Breaking his torpedo tube potentially, I don't know. I didn't actually say that there, but that's pretty good. We really need to kill this Brandenburg. So we have less than 2 minutes left. They've got a 200 point lead. Even if we kill one of the battleships, it won't be enough. There's not enough time to catch up. So we need to kill both of them. So this is a race against time to see if we can kill this Brandenburg immediately. Colorado does it as well, but he does go down to the Vladivostok. It's a mad dash to see. We just need to kill the Vladivostok. We've got Blay over there, but he's a bit far away potentially. He can't nearly do a YOLO in this time. Maybe he can't. We've got 59 seconds, 58. We just need to go full balls to the wall here. Send it here. This is where you just kiting forward here, which is really usually quite a bad play, Mogami, but I need damage done. Maybe there's a time for the fire to do the trick, so we just need to get fires in different parts of the ship. So we've hit fire in the back of the ship, and then we go for the bow, or maybe the mid part fire? Bow fire? I forget. I don't know what you call it. You know what I mean? And we need more fires. We need more damage. I don't care. We need to fire all our guns here. Dodging is not really necessary. It's not important. We're just going to take it. We need to fire all our guns as fast as possible here. Even if we went down there, that would have been fine because we need to get the damage done. We do get the fire, and the fire hinders them off, and we pull that game together. So well played to Mr. Hive, by the way, and Mr. Blay. But that is a prime example of rushing to the wall at the end base. 3k, 3.3 for myself, and then 3.2 for Mr. Hive, and then 2k for Mr. Blay. And again, that Colorado very well played. Well played by the NB Kagero. He played quite well. Very interesting game. And a good idea of, guys, kiting is great, but you don't want to just kite back all the time. You can kite in different directions as long as you're making yourself relevant to the battle. Because if I kited too far away, the time it takes me to get back, I probably would have done the job there, you know. And even if I went down, sometimes it's okay to die as long as you get the win, because even if I went down, the fires that I set would have killed him, and I wouldn't be able to set his fires if I was too busy trying to kite and maneuver against shells. I needed the shells in the water, out the gun turrets, and into that ship. I needed them there and there. Hope this guys helped you out. I hope this helps you out. I hope you have a fun day, and yeah, I'll catch you next time. Yeah, bye for now.